Chapter 1 Understanding Basic Terms in Influencing Human Behavior. Human behavior arises from the intricate interplay of multiple elements, shaping our actions in specific situations. These factors not only dictate how we react to others, but also influence how others respond to us. While our reactions often seem instinctive or immediate, a significant amount of cognitive processing precedes them, guiding our behaviors. The ways in which our actions are shaped include manipulation, coercion, persuasion, and influence. Furthermore, it allows us to strategically leverage persuasive and influential approaches while avoiding the pitfalls of manipulation and coercion. Manipulation involves using deceptive or misleading tactics to achieve a desired outcome, often by exploiting someone's vulnerabilities or emotional state. The manipulated person may not even realize they're being influenced in this way. Persuasion, on the other hand, relies on using logical arguments, emotional appeals, and rational reasoning to convince someone of a particular point of view or action. Influence is the subtle yet effective process of shaping opinions, attitudes, or behaviors through various means such as social proof, authority, endorsement, or personal connection. Unlike persuasion, influence doesn't necessarily rely on logical arguments. Instead, it taps into people's natural inclinations and desires. Manipulation often involves deception. Coercion is about force. Persuasion relies on reason, and influence uses a combination of strategies. The manipulation tends to be more subtle and insidious, while coercion is typically more overt. Persuasion and influence both aim to guide people's decisions, but they differ in the methods used and the level of transparency involved. Interpreting the nuances of manipulation, coercion, persuasion, and sway enables individuals to grasp the complexities of human behavior. This understanding allows one to recognize their own actions and those of others, pinpointing aspects that are amendable for personal growth or improvement, while also identifying potential pitfalls in shaping the behaviors of self and others. Manipulation is a covert method of gaining power over someone by using deceptive, cunning tactics to alter their behavior or beliefs. Its ultimate goal is to exploit the person emotionally and mentally for the manipulator's own benefit. Manipulative individuals employ various insidious strategies to get others to do what they want, often at the victim's expense. This can lead to the manipulated individual experiencing emotional distress and psychological harm as a direct result of the manipulation. Manipulators employ various tactics to achieve their objectives. A person must comprehend the art of manipulation, wherein individuals employ cunning tactics to influence others' actions through deceitful means. Recognizing how manipulation functions enables one to shield themselves from manipulative individuals or circumstances and even develop self-awareness to refrain from manipulating others when they sense it within themselves. Coercion is the act of forcing an individual or group to take specific actions or abstain from them through the use of intimidation, actual power, or a combination of both. Coercion diverges from persuasion in that it relies on force or the threat of it to influence someone's behavior or decision-making, as opposed to relying solely on logical argumentation or appeal. On one hand, coercion involves using force or pressure to achieve dominance and control over others, often employed by governments domestically and internationally. On the other hand, persuasion aims to convince individuals through logical reasoning that resonates with both their rational thinking and emotions, ultimately influencing them to take specific action. Coercion manipulates individuals through force or intimidation, often seen as a cynical approach. Typically, coercion is employed only when other methods like persuasion and influence have failed in shaping human behavior. Persuasion is the act of influencing someone's outlook, emotions, and actions regarding an individual or situation by presenting factual claims and logical reasoning. Once mastered, these principles enable individuals to recognize opportunities where persuasion can be applied effectively to their benefit. The concept of persuasion relies on reciprocity, which is rooted in treating others as you would like them to treat you. This persuasion principle leverages the authority of someone considered knowledgeable in a specific area. When an individual views another as an expert, they are more likely to trust that person's guidance and decisions as they believe the expert possesses in-depth knowledge and can facilitate efficient, rational choices. The expert's credibility and expertise serve as the driving force behind their influence, which is often showcased through displaying credentials and sharing knowledge to emphasize their authority within a particular field. This principle leverages personal commitments made publicly to influence others' actions. It relies on three key aspects: active decision-making, where an individual makes an informed choice and declares it verbally or in writing; voluntary promises, as people take responsibility for fulfilling their pledges; and public declaration, which involves sharing one's commitment openly to garner support and accountability. By doing so, individuals encourage others to follow suit by demonstrating a personal commitment to the cause. When individuals voluntarily make a choice or take an action, it encourages others to follow suit by adjusting their behaviors or attitude. Voluntary involvement means a person chooses to act without coercion, allowing them to be consistent in fulfilling their commitments and earn trust from others, who may then entrust them with more responsibility. This psychological principle leverages the natural phenomenon of supply and demand by creating limited opportunities, exclusive access, or emphasizing potential losses to evoke feelings of scarcity in those involved. This persuasion principle leverages social proof, where individuals adopt a course of action after observing others in similar situation. By referencing the actions of others, an individual can influence others' thoughts and behaviors, potentially citing statistics that demonstrate positive outcomes resulting from collective efforts. This principle posits that an individual is more likely to be influenced by someone they admire, sharing characteristics and working together towards a shared objective. This principle suggests that positive emotions are the driving force behind people following the guidance or lead of another person. When a person has romantic feelings for someone, it tends to foster strong, favorable emotions towards that person, which in turn affects their decision-making process. Moreover, they often feel a sense of connection with this individual, prompting them to adjust not only their thoughts, but also their behaviors in accordance with the latter's guidance or direction. Influence. Influence denotes the ability to envision an optimal outcome for a business or situation and rallying others to collaborate towards achieving it without relying on coercion or force. Effective persuasion tactics rely on presenting compelling arguments that support a specific claim in an effort to redirect someone's stance. In contrast to impact, influence focuses on building trust over time to persuade others to act in a desired way. This sincerity is then leveraged to inspire and drive those individuals towards making specific choices or following a particular path. While someone can exert influence through targeted persuasion techniques, it's crucial to build rapport beforehand to minimize doubts and inspire individual decision. Effective influencers strengthen their impact by using the right tactics at the right time to reinforce the trust people have in them. Conversely, overusing persuasive tactics in situations that demand strong measures can erode trust and credibility, making one appear manipulative rather than inspiring. Influence is a gradual process focused on long-term success, whereas persuasion is a skill that can be employed immediately without extensive preparation. This comprehension enables them to refine their skills in positive influence, such as persuasion, while also protecting themselves and those around them from detrimental forces like manipulation and coercion. Grasping fundamental behavioral terms allows one to recognize the various factors that shape behavior. The 4 key influences mentioned earlier are essential tools for shaping others' conduct and attitude. By understanding these concepts and their applications, an individual can pinpoint how they apply to their own life. Chapter 2: Principles of Persuasion. When considering the concept of superpowers, most individuals typically associate it with fictional characters like those found in comic book franchises such as the Avengers or Justice League. Yet, one's mindset can shift by recognizing that any exceptional skill, when mastered, can be viewed as a form of superpower. In this context, persuasion is an exemplary example, as the ability to persuasively influence others can have a profound impact, making it a potent and real-life superpower. Jenny Cullen suggests that the ability to convincingly persuade is the most impressive superpower of all. Persuasion involves shifting another person's beliefs or actions regarding a circumstance or individual through persistent, logical reasoning or argumentation. By comprehending these key tenets, one can develop the skill of persuasion and wield its power in everyday life like a superhuman ability. Additionally, this knowledge will equip individuals to resist manipulation by those with less than noble intentions seeking to influence them negatively. The key to successful persuasion under this principle hinges on the quality and manner of what one offers to others. The key to effective gift-giving lies in presenting something of value unexpectedly, yet thoughtfully tailored to the individual's preferences. As a result, the person will likely feel compelled to reciprocate at some point, whether promptly or at a later time, depending on circumstances. This concept is evident in overt exchanges like those employed by marketers and sales professionals, but also manifests in more subtle forms where individuals utilize psychological tactics to foster a sense of mutual benefit. This tactic leverages the psychological principle of reciprocity, as the company hopes that by offering this extra incentive, customers will be more likely to buy other products from them in the future. At home or elsewhere, people often reciprocate kindness through social gatherings, such as hosting a party for someone's arrival, which then prompts the other individual to invite them back. This mutual exchange of respectful actions fosters harmonious interactions among individuals. Reciprocity fosters mutual support and success, as individuals can leverage their connections to overcome obstacles. The principle of reciprocity inspires individuals to behave in ways that elicit similar actions from others, fostering a sense of mutual benefit. This psychological phenomenon exerts significant influence on people's decisions and conduct due to the emotional debt of obligation that develops as a result of reciprocation. The principle of scarcity in persuasion leverages human nature's instinctive response to limited resources. By exploiting the supply and demand dynamic, this approach capitalizes on the perception that less available something is, the more valuable it becomes to individuals. To effectively persuade, scarcity tactics employ 3 key features: offering limited opportunities, restricting access, and using loss-oriented language to create a sense of inadequacy or missing out in others, fostering a desire for the scarce resource. This tactic creates a sense of scarcity and limited opportunity, leading consumers to purchase more products during the promotional period than they would at other times of the year. The perception of scarcity can foster a sense of specialness among individuals who have access to rare offerings. By offering unique access and exclusivity, these establishments create a sense of scarcity, influencing behavior and perception among others. The principle of scarcity exerts its impact by employing three distinct strategies that shape individuals' perceptions and behaviors. When all three tactics are used in conjunction, the effect of scarcity on decision-making becomes amplified, thereby increasing the persuasiveness of the communicated messages. The principle of authority. The principle of authority states that individuals tend to trust and adopt the views of those seen as knowledgeable or skilled in a particular domain. This shortcut enables people to make informed choices more efficiently, as they rely on the expertise of authorities rather than investing significant time in personal analysis. The principle of authority hinges on a person's credibility and expertise within a specific field. Since these qualities aren't self-evident, individuals should proactively assert their credentials to establish trust. A nutritionist's opinion can carry more weight than a friend's due to their professional authority, affecting an individual's decisions as a result. Similarly, symbols of authority like police uniforms and badges command respect. When introducing themselves, individuals can effectively showcase their skills by sharing concise background details. Notably, sharing a decade-plus of experience in a field can instill confidence in the individual's expertise, increasing the likelihood of collaboration. By adeptly discussing credentials and knowledge, individuals can strengthen their professional standing and foster relationships with others. To exert significant influence and successfully persuade others to put faith in your guidance, one must skillfully employ the concept of authority. The sixth principle of persuasion harnesses the power of deliberate, public, and binding commitments to motivate someone to take action. This occurs when an individual makes a thoughtful, voluntary promise out loud or in writing, and then follows through on their commitment due to the sense of obligation it creates. By actively choosing their course of action, they're more likely to see it through to completion. Imagine someone initiating a fundraising campaign for a charity by creating a donation form where individuals can record their name and intended contribution. Voluntary commitment is a self-directed decision where an individual chooses to participate without coercion. When individuals publicly declare their commitment to a cause or action, it fosters a sense of collective responsibility within the community. In the given example, observing neighbors participating in the donation process through public declarations of commitment encourages other neighbors to follow suit, promoting a culture of mutual responsibility and reliability. When individuals become invested in a collective effort, they tend to feel more accountable and thus more likely to fulfill their pledges. When individuals make public, voluntary, and active commitments, it fosters a sense of accountability and trust among them. The practice of making small commitments often leads to an individual's willingness to take on larger responsibilities in order to maintain this reputation for reliability. A liking principle. According to the fifth principle of persuasion, individuals are more likely to be persuaded by people they like. This liking can be influenced by three key factors: receiving genuine praise from others, collaborating on shared objectives, and identifying commonalities with that person. When these conditions are met, a bond forms, making an individual more receptive to the ideas presented by someone they've grown fond of. When an individual collaborates with someone else towards shared objectives, they tend to develop a sense of unity and deference to that person's lead. The suspect is more likely to be cooperative when dealing with a police officer who presents themselves as approachable and helpful, fostering a sense of mutual support. This good cop demeanor leverages the liking principle, causing the individual to perceive the officer as genuinely invested in resolving the issue and securing their freedom, leading to increased cooperation. When someone discovers an individual who shares similarities with them, they tend to make decisions influenced by this person's opinions and actions. This perceived similarity fosters trust, leading the individual to adopt their friend's choices and preferences. A cosmetic company showcases a diverse range of models catering to distinct skin tones to enable individuals to identify with the products and ultimately make a purchase. A liking principle suggests that our affinity towards someone grants them the power to shape our behaviors and choices. When we find someone likable, we become more receptive to their influence, allowing their opinions to impact our decisions and actions. In essence, the more we like an individual, the more open we are to being influenced by them. This principle is particularly useful when an individual doesn't know the proper course of action and instead adopts the actions of someone experiencing a similar situation, finding inspiration in their example. This approach gives them a sense of reassurance, knowing many others have already used and liked that particular app. As a result, people often rely on collective opinions to inform their decisions, trusting that the majority's experience will guide them. This phenomenon is summed up in the saying "there's safety in numbers," implying that those who are uninformed about a situation can still make informed choices by observing how others have reacted or thought in the past. To influence others effectively through the principle of consensus, one can leverage peer pressure by showcasing the behaviors or actions of comparable peers or groups. By highlighting that a majority of people from a similar demographic or age group are engaging in a certain activity, an individual can encourage others to follow suit, capitalizing on the natural inclination for people to conform to the norms and actions of those within their own social circle. The principle also works in crisis situations, or, for example, seeing frequent reminders on performing first aid after an accident, accompanied by statistics showing improved survival rates when bystanders take action, can prompt an individual to react appropriately in case of an emergency. This person is likely to take initiative and help someone in need, overcoming the bystander effect. Similarly, companies use collective experiences to influence individual actions, such as using statistics to encourage people to act similarly. The health organizations can leverage success stories like this one, while environmental groups might highlight small actions that collectively make a positive impact, like turning off unused lights. By showcasing the effectiveness of these efforts, they inspire others to take similar actions. Mastering the 6 principles of persuasion enables individuals to skillfully shape others' emotions, thoughts, and action. Moreover, being aware of when someone is utilizing these principles to persuade can provide a competitive edge in both personal and professional interactions. By understanding how others are influenced, an individual can recognize when they're being influenced themselves. Ultimately, this insight helps individuals orchestrate personal transformations through subtle shifts in emotions and thoughts, leading to both minor and profound changes in their lives. For those aiming to modify attitudes or behaviors in others, it's crucial to grasp the significance and practical application of these principles. This awareness empowers them to respond effectively and dodge potential manipulations. Chapter 3. How to be more persuasive. Persuasion is a genuine and respectful approach, rather than an aggressive or deceitful one. It doesn't rely on coercion, constant reminders, or deception to get others to adopt certain behaviors. Instead, it aims to inspire people to make informed decisions that align with their true desires, free from undue influence or pressure. While blending elements from both approaches, it employs a subtle persuasion method that nudges individuals in a gentle fashion, akin to subtle manipulation. Notably, many assume they independently arrive at decisions through personal deliberation. However, the reality is that most conclusions are influenced by others' persuasive strategies. Mastering persuasion is an invaluable asset that can significantly contribute to one's success in various aspects of life. By effectively presenting oneself, ideas, and opinions, individuals can often achieve their goals. Such people excel at convincing others, whether it's a customer to purchase a product, a boss for a salary raise, or a colleague to lend a helping hand. While some individuals may seem naturally adept at convincing others, persuasion is indeed a skill that anyone can develop and utilize in various aspects of life, both personally and professionally. This valuable ability has numerous smart strategies for making people accept an idea, listen to your opinion, purchase a product or service, tip generously, perform a favor, and generally agree with your request. Use of persuasive techniques. The art of persuasion begins with the effective presentation of an idea heavily influenced by the choice of words used. To be convincing, one must employ clever language, as the deliberate use of the word "you" can captivate an audience's attention and maintain their focus. By addressing the listener directly, this technique personalizes the subject matter, making it more relatable and engaging. Mentioning something peculiar, like a silver cabbage, rather than a mundane term like green cabbage, is an effective way to grab listeners' attention and contribute to crafting an unforgettable message by introducing an element of surprise. The power of persuasive language lies in the utilization of terms like all natural and captivating visuals, as they can effectively draw in customers. When leveraging influential individuals to convey a message, one amplifies the effectiveness of persuasion. As a result, companies frequently partner with well-known bloggers or social media personalities boasting significant followings to promote their products, capitalizing on the credibility associated with these influencers. For instance, when someone introduces themselves as a medical professional before presenting a new medication, they're more likely to receive a favorable reception compared to an unqualified pharmaceutical representative. This is because the individual's medical expertise, which people tend to trust, lends credibility to their pitch, increasing the likelihood of the audience considering the product. Similarly, visual symbols of authority like uniforms or badges can also expedite decision-making by projecting a sense of trustworthiness and legitimacy. Individuals are more inclined to agree with those in their social circle and reject offers from unfamiliar individuals. Additionally, people are more receptive to opinions from those who share similarities or familiarity with them, as well as those who offer praise. People can sense when someone is unenthusiastic and are less likely to be swayed by their words. Moreover, consistency plays a crucial role. Frequent discussions on the same topic can ultimately capture people's attention and foster engagement. By leveraging the psychological principles of commitment and consistency, you can gain an upper hand by having individuals commit to a cause or action and then regularly reinforcing that pledge. Over time, as you consistently remind them of their commitment, they are more likely to follow through on their promise in order to maintain a sense of integrity and uphold their initial agreement. The tendency to reciprocate a kindness exists, Individuals are more likely to return favors when someone has previously done something beneficial for them. This principle can be leveraged in persuasion by performing an act of kindness and then requesting a corresponding favor. In a business context, offering free consultations or discounts can create a sense of obligation, leading people to feel compelled to patronize your establishment after you ask them to do so, as they perceive the initial service as a debt to be repaid. Offering an extra mint increases this obligation, leading customers to tip more than they initially intended. Given the initial large ask has been reduced, people are more likely to agree to the smaller request, demonstrating the effectiveness of reciprocity in motivating actions ranging from small favors to larger commitments. In some cases, individuals will follow the crowd without critically evaluating the decisions, assuming that since most people are doing it, it must be correct and therefore worthy of their participation as well. Companies leverage social influence to draw in clients by showcasing endorsements from satisfied customers, thereby enticing new customers. The power of social proof suggests that individuals are more likely to purchase or adopt a product when they witness its use among others, whether familiar or unknown to them. This phenomenon also contributes to the persistence of habits like drinking, despite potential health drawbacks and unpleasant taste, as people often mimic their peers' behavior due to social influence. It's the primary motivator behind conforming to group norms. By restricting access to certain offerings such as limited-time deals or exclusive services, businesses can effectively use the scarcity tactic to persuade customers. For instance, if someone creates an illusion that a particular item has limited availability for only a short time, people become more eager to purchase it quickly before it's gone. A common persuasive tactic is anchoring, which involves setting an initial reference point to influence subsequent decisions or negotiations. In the context of car sales, representatives frequently employ this strategy by initially quoting a higher price, leaving room for potential customers to negotiate a more favorable deal. This opening offer serves as an anchor, shaping the customer's perception of the vehicle's value and providing a basis for further bargaining. Most people would expect to haggle and lower this initial offer. This strategy, commonly employed in commerce, persuades consumers to make purchases by presenting them with an impression of value rather than a significant reduction in cost. By doing so, they foster an environment where individuals feel heard and can subsequently devote attention to the speaker's message. Persuasive individuals also typically prioritize the perspectives of others over their own, allowing for more meaningful connections and increased receptivity. These individuals prioritize others' needs over their own, refraining from using first-person pronouns like in their speech. Rather than expressing personal desires or opinions, they present their offerings as essential for the audience's benefit. Persuasive individuals also remain composed and at ease regardless of the response they receive. To increase persuasiveness, start by building connections with others. People who ask about your well-being before making a request are subtly establishing rapport, aiming for a favorable outcome. This rapport-building approach applies beyond asking favors. It's essential when trying to sell products, influence opinions or ideas, and more. This helps build rapport by signaling that you're engaged, attentive, and in tune with the other person's emotional state. A crucial element in successful persuasion lies in forging a bond with the target audience, be it an individual or group. Demonstrating vulnerability is a powerful way to establish trust and credibility, as it highlights your humanity. By sharing personal mistakes and imperfections, you disarm skepticism and create an emotional connection that fosters receptivity to your message. When sharing your personal struggles, including failures and fears, you capture people's attention and help them relate to you on a deeper level. Some may initially object, but being open about your humanity fosters connection and trust with your audience. This vulnerability is more crucial than the content itself in building unity and establishing credibility. By discussing setbacks, you also convey a sense of authenticity and believability, making you a more effective communicator. Individuals skilled in persuasion are attuned to people's emotions. They excel in making others content and valued. One of their tactics is personalizing interactions by addressing individuals by their names. Rather than simply greeting someone, these persuaders take the extra step to ask for a person's name and incorporate it into subsequent conversations. This subtle act of referring to someone by their name conveys validation, fostering a sense of importance and satisfaction in that individual. Even if your general recall isn't exceptional, making an effort to learn and remember people's names can have cognitive benefits and pay off in the long run through creative strategies for memorization. This approach not only makes individuals feel valued, but also exercises and improves one's memory. The art of persuasion lies in presenting individuals with something of worth. Additionally, being prepared to address potential concerns and reframing offerings in a way that highlights their benefits can significantly boost the persuasiveness of your pitch. Pressuring individuals may backfire and undermine the inherent value of what you're presenting. When something holds real worth, it should be able to persuade people on its own merit, not solely because of someone else's persuasion. Surprisingly, individuals who frequently engage in self-deprecation possess high levels of confidence. This tactic not only fosters a sense of vulnerability, making others more inclined to connect, but also serves as a humbling mechanism for those in positions of authority, encouraging others not to take them too seriously. Genuine individuals offer sincere opinions. Thus, if they endorse a product, it's likely of high value. Personal anecdotes, when used in a humble manner, can be effective tools for self-deprecation. To master persuasion, it's crucial to be aware of the tactics used to influence your decisions. Take a few minutes to reflect on why you did something for someone or agreed to something. There's a good chance a persuasive technique was employed to sway your choice. This self-awareness will help you become more discerning in recognizing persuasion attempts and ultimately improve your own persuasive ability. Mastering persuasion involves being well-informed and self-assured about the message you're trying to convey. Using first-person pronouns like it can create distance from your audience. Instead, employ inclusive language with we, I and you, to engage them. Nonverbal cues also play a crucial role. Exuding confidence through calm body language will keep the focus on your message rather than any perceived nervousness, ultimately increasing the effectiveness of your communication. These techniques can streamline your goal of achieving desired conversions, but it's equally crucial to cultivate knowledge and confidence in yourself and your message. To make a strong impression, minimize hesitations and avoid filler words like Chapter 4. Using humor in persuasion. Persuasion involves modifying someone's perspective or actions through rational reasoning and evidence-based arguments. Notably, humor can significantly enhance this process by making the argument more relatable, memorable, and engaging. To achieve optimal results, it is crucial to strategically incorporate humor into a persuasive message in a way that effectively resonates with the target audience. Have you observed that certain TV commercials infuse humor into their messages? Even Langston Hughes, a renowned American poet, alluded to this phenomenon as laughing at what's lacking when it should be there. Have you observed that certain TV commercials infuse humor into their messages? Humor is a potent tool for influencing someone's perspective or actions. To effectively deploy it in persuasive communication, one must know how to seamlessly integrate it into the message. Humor should be relevant. When applying humor, one draws upon this organized knowledge to craft a humorous narrative, visualizing the setting of the joke in their mind's eye. By employing these mental processes, an individual can not only appreciate a joke, but also engage others in its humor, sharing the joy they aim to convey. Effective persuasion hinges on understanding the audience's knowledge and using it to align a message's purpose. A humorous remark should logically relate to the real situation or products being addressed, fostering a mental link between the joke and its context. Humor can elicit laughter and pleasure, inducing a positive mood that makes listeners more receptive and open to the intended message. A surprisingly clever humor allows audiences to mentally connect the dots from their existing schema, interpreting the humorous intent. The more relevant and unexpected the humor is, the greater its influence on the audience will be. How to use humor to your advantage. Humor can yield numerous benefits when used effectively. While someone may excel at making witty remarks, misusing humor can lead to awkward, embarrassing, or even offensive outcomes. To utilize humor wisely and maximize its positive impact, 3 crucial factors must be considered: timing, tone, and context. To effectively communicate humor, it's crucial to grasp who your audience is and tailor your approach accordingly. Since humor is subjective, understanding the audience helps you avoid awkward situations by selecting jokes that resonate with them and skip ones that might offend or fall flat. Researching their mental frameworks, or memory schemas, enables you to craft clever connections between these frameworks and your message, making it more relatable and humorous for the target group. Effective humor integration involves cleverly extracting amusing elements from the topic at hand and applying them contextually so that the audience can relate and comprehend. It's essential to introduce humor at the right moment and in a suitable setting, much like advertisers use unexpected humor in commercials to make their product memorable. When communicating, utilize straightforward and clear language so your message and humor are easily understood by your audience. In verbal communication, modulate your voice effectively to convey your message and humorous aspects in a captivating manner. Combining passion with humor helps the audience empathize with the situation, as if they're experiencing it firsthand, allowing them to quickly grasp the context and mood. The benefit of humor in persuasion. Humor can be a powerful tool for shaping others' attitudes and actions. Incorporating a dash of wit into a persuasive message can significantly boost its effectiveness, leading people to be more receptive to new ideas and open to changing their minds. The advantages of employing humor in persuasion include: humor's potency lies in its ability to encourage laughter at ourselves or life circumstances, thereby fostering happiness and a positive disposition. Humor plays a significant role in fostering connections and making individuals more endearing to others, thereby increasing their likability. By rendering individuals more approachable and affable through humor, it ultimately facilitates the persuasion process by promoting a friendly dynamic between parties involved. Humor has a positive impact, inducing a sense of well-being and relaxation in those who experience it. This uplifting effect fosters an open-minded attitude, making individuals more receptive to suggestions and willing to accommodate others' demands. By using humor, one can effectively influence others, nudging them towards decisions that ultimately lead to the granting of permits and other desired outcome. Humor plays a key role in facilitating effective communication by initially captivating an audience's attention. When humor is relevant, it keeps the audience engaged with the speaker's message, allowing for effortless persuasion and making the message more memorable. Laughter triggered by humor serves as a stress reliever, permitting individuals to unwind and alleviate tension. Humor's ability to elicit such positivity can significantly enhance the effectiveness of persuasive efforts regarding specific situations or actions. When humor is used, it has a calming effect, diminishing hostility and allowing individuals to be more receptive to persuasive ideas. Furthermore, humor can help people overcome negative emotions like hatred, enabling them to approach challenges with a clearer mind and a greater willingness to accept solutions. By diffusing the intense feelings that often cloud judgment, humor enables people to accurately identify problems and more readily accept the influence needed to resolve the issue at hand. Laughter has a profound impact on one's mental well-being, as it allows individuals to find humor in life's challenges and poke fun at their own misfortune. Cleverness and the ability to think rapidly on one's feet are essential for incorporating effective humor. Humor keeps the mind active, encouraging individuals to be more adaptable in their approaches to various circumstances. By leveraging this tactic, you can strategically elicit good vibes and encourage positive reactions, setting the stage for effective persuasion. In literature, this type of irony involves both the characters and the reader being equally unaware of the eventual outcome's impact, creating surprise and often humor once the connection becomes clear. The humor arises from realizing that the character's seemingly innocent actions are actually foreshadowing their impending misfortune. Irony effectively persuades by crafting relatable scenarios that convey valuable lessons about behavior and perception, ultimately prompting individuals to adjust their attitudes and actions when necessary. Humor is a versatile persuasive tactic that, when utilized effectively, can significantly impact the way people think and behave. To harness its power, one must comprehend how humor interacts with a specific context and timing. When applied correctly in a relevant situation, humor becomes a potent influencer of others' opinions and actions, capable of driving meaningful changes in attitudes and behaviors. This literary device can be powerful in conveying lessons by allowing readers to reflect on the character's choices and attitudes before the consequences unfold. Chapter 5. How Persuasive Listening to Influence Human Behavior. How to become a better listener. Effective communication begins with the act of listening, which entails giving undivided attention to another person's spoken thoughts. This requires not only perceiving the auditory signals, but also grasping the underlying intent or meaning behind the words being exchanged. By doing so, we demonstrate our ability to comprehend and connect with others through a two-way flow of information. Listening consists of three processes: cultivating the desire to engage in active listening with others. To improve our listening skills, we can benefit from regularly engaging in the following habits. By incorporating these practices into our daily interactions, we can develop stronger listening skills that foster deeper connections with others. Maintaining direct gaze with someone fosters a greater sense of attention and engagement in the conversation. Conversely, frequent glances away from the person speaking can convey a lack of attentiveness, implying that one is not truly listening. By doing so, you will be more likely to stay fully present and attentive to the person speaking, rather than allowing yourself to get distracted by these objects. To become an effective listener, refrain from interrupting or inserting your own thoughts when someone else is speaking. To improve listening skills, adopt a mindset of learning rather than mere politeness. When engaging in conversations, focus on extracting knowledge and insights rather than simply being courteous. To improve your listening skills, Adopt an inquisitive approach and ask thoughtful questions. Active listeners exhibit curiosity through their questioning, leading to a deeper understanding of the topic or conversation. To improve your listening skills, adopt the mindset that you'll need to retell the information to someone else later on. This mental exercise enhances your focus and attentiveness, allowing you to absorb the message more effectively. By doing so, you become a better listener and gain a deeper understanding of what's being communicated. When conversing, pay attention to non-verbal cues from the other person. As a considerate listener, maintain a calm demeanor even if the speaker appears anxious or agitated. Avoid giving off confrontational vibes. When engaging with others through conversation, cultivate a non-judgmental attitude by refraining from forming opinions or making assumptions as the speaker begins to share their thoughts. Instead, strive for an open-minded approach, imagining how you would like it if you were in the speaker's position. Would you want someone actively listening and understanding your perspective? By adopting this mindset, you will enhance your capacity for effective communication by becoming a more empathetic and attentive listener. To become an attentive listener, below are several practical suggestions for developing greater attentiveness in our interactions with others. To be an effective communicator, focus on actively listening by concentrating on the speaker's words, remaining impartial, and refraining from interjecting. To better absorb and retain information from a conversation, strive for an emotional connection with the speaker. This empathetic response fosters a deeper attention to what they're saying. To effectively listen, focus intently on the speaker without interruptions. Active listening also involves noticing non-verbal cues, such as the speaker's body language, to gain a more comprehensive understanding of their message. Effective listening involves the use of minimal encouragers, which are subtle cues that invite speakers to share more. By utilizing these, you demonstrate attentiveness and foster a supportive environment for open communication. Gain understanding by reflecting on the speaker's point. You can process the message by reiterating and rephrasing it in your own words, seeking clarity when needed. Effective listening often involves mirroring the speaker's non-verbal cues, such as facial expressions and body language, indicating full attention and engagement. When we mirror empathetic responses, it demonstrates our connection with the speaker and understanding of their emotion. When seated, subtly leaning forward can enhance your ability to be a focused listener. Additionally, subtly tilting your head or resting it in the palm of your hand can non-verbally convey that you're attentively engaged in the conversation, demonstrating your engagement and active listening skills. To be a good conversationalist, follow these guidelines. Prioritize uninterrupted communication by letting the speaker complete their thoughts and only ask questions once they finish speaking. To develop effective listening skills, it's essential to steer clear of detrimental habits, such as failing to demonstrate courtesy towards the speaker, interrupting or hurrying them along, losing focus through mind-wandering, dismissing unfamiliar concepts without seeking clarification, and posing off topic or unimportant inquiries. By avoiding these pitfalls, you can cultivate a more attentive and receptive listening approach. How to connect with people. To foster a connection with someone, start by seeking commonalities between you two. Be attentive and be on the lookout for topics like favorite sports teams, foods, or hobbies that can serve as conversational bridges. Instead of asking forced questions, allow these commonalities to emerge naturally as you engage with a person. To foster meaningful connections, prioritize creating a welcoming atmosphere for others. To foster connections, genuinely praise others. During interactions, pay attention to something impressive about the individual and express your admiration. When engaging in a conversation, subtly reiterating a point or phrase previously brought up by the other party demonstrates attentiveness and genuine interest in their thoughts. By echoing what they've said, you create a sense of mutual understanding and foster a stronger connection with them. To foster meaningful connections, be receptive and willing to be vulnerable by sharing aspects of yourself that others might find engaging. This doesn't require complete openness, but rather showcasing a slice of your life that resonates with others, allowing them to decide if they'd like to build a connection with you as well. True connections thrive when individuals are genuine and unpretentious. Authenticity simplifies relationships, allowing for deeper, more natural connections. Express genuine gratitude towards others as a foundation for meaningful connections. To foster meaningful relationships, make an effort to recall individuals' identities. Consistently providing small but thoughtful services is an effective way to build meaningful connections with people. Demonstrating genuine concern for others is an effective means of fostering strong bonds with them. If engaging in conversations feels challenging, consider conducting some preliminary research beforehand. The chameleon effect is an unconscious act of mirroring others' behaviors, facial expressions, attitudes, and postures in social interactions. When we mirror someone's behavior, they tend to respond more positively towards us, likely due to the sense of familiarity it creates. The chameleon-like ability for individuals to subtly mirror others' behavior fosters a sense of similarity, leading to strengthened connections and relationships. The chameleon effect's unconscious nature highlights its significance as an essential yet often unacknowledged social skill. Research suggests that individuals, even in brief encounters, tend to unconsciously imitate the behaviors and mannerisms of others, demonstrating a natural propensity for social mimicry. Research has found that engaging in mirroring behaviors towards someone can actually boost the level of affection and appreciation they have for you, as individuals tend to mirror others as a means of fostering greater social connections and increased liking. Individuals with a higher tendency to consider multiple viewpoints, high perspective takers, tend to display the chameleon effect, adapting their behavior and mannerisms to match those around them to a greater extent compared to people who are less inclined to adopt various perspectives, low perspective takers. Unnoticed by most, the chameleon effect takes place when individuals engage in conversations or interactions. This phenomenon involves adopting, often unconsciously, the emotional tone, physical gestures, and posture of someone we're fond of and share common ground with, mirroring their demeanor as a sign of connection and affinity. Individuals with specific health conditions, such as autism, might struggle to employ the chameleon effect due to a lack of conscious and subconscious awareness of others' actions. This limited self-awareness can make it challenging for them to form meaningful connections or build rapport with others. Furthermore, individuals with autism are less likely to establish connections with others due to the lack of spontaneous imitation, which can inadvertently give the impression they're unapproachable or unwilling to engage. Without grasping nonverbal signals, people with autism may struggle to recognize and respond to subtle cues that facilitate social interactions in everyday settings. As individuals mature, their ability to adaptively mirror others' behaviors and emotions fosters impressive social skills and paves the way for the formation of enduring, meaningful connections with others. Individuals often emulate individuals of higher authority or prestige, creating an illusion of elevated status for themselves and fostering a connection with the powerful person. Through this imitation, children cultivate self-regulation and self-awareness skills, power dynamics. Conversely, mimicking those with lower status can be advantageous for people of lesser authority, as it enables them to influence privileged others in situations such as job interviews, promotions, or parental interactions. Chapter 6. How to Win Friends. Your social connections can have a profound influence on your overall well-being and mental health. Valuable friendships offer emotional support, standing by you through life's challenges and sharing in both the hardships and triumphs. In times of joy, they join in celebration. During adversity, they provide comfort. Moreover, friends bring companionship, fostering happiness while countering loneliness and isolation. Research highlights the significance of friendships by demonstrating that a deficiency in social connections is linked to increased tendencies towards substance misuse and physical inactivity, detrimental factors affecting overall well-being. Moreover, another investigation reveals that cultivating strong, purposeful relationships can contribute to an individual's lifespan. While the advantages of forming new relationships are undeniable, a candid acknowledgement must be made that as individuals advance in age, nurturing friendships becomes less effortless compared to the younger years. Yet, contrary to this trend, it's entirely feasible for anyone at any stage to cultivate profound bonds and establish lasting connections that transcend time, regardless of age. Mastering the art of connection, unlocking the power of persuasion for meaningful relationships. It demands an understanding of how to effectively influence and persuade others, fostering genuine connections that stand the test of time. By cultivating these essential social skills, you will discover the secrets to winning friends who share your values and support your endeavors, leading to lasting bonds and a richer personal life. Someone skilled at influencing and persuading others can effortlessly form friendships. To effectively persuade, it's crucial to initially establish a connection with those you want to convince. This bond can evolve into a meaningful friendship. Persuasion techniques not only facilitate convincing others, but also foster interpersonal connections such as to foster meaningful friendships. Individuals must possess strong communication skills, encompassing both verbal expression and attentive listening. This skill is particularly vital in persuasion, where understanding the other person's needs through keen listening enables you to tailor your approach and meet their requirements. Moreover, by listening, you demonstrate empathy and concern for the individual, validating their thoughts and fostering a sense of being heard. Crucial aspect in nurturing friendships with those who are persuaded by attentive listeners. This thoughtful approach resonates well as individuals appreciate receiving gifts and favors. The dynamics of giving among friends demonstrate that the persuasion habit of generosity can also foster meaningful friendships. By highlighting these connections, persuasion can create a sense of shared identity or likeness in individuals. This principle applies to friendship formation as well. When we find common ground through shared interests, it's natural for these interactions to evolve into stronger bonds and ultimately friendships. Similarly, this vulnerability-based approach can foster strong friendships as people generally perceive those willing to be vulnerable as more trustworthy, a crucial aspect in forming lasting bonds with others. Gain trust and strengthen friendships by consistently demonstrating positive actions, sharing inspiring thoughts, and actively nurturing the bond through continuous effort and dedication. By radiating positive energy, you foster a conducive atmosphere, empowering yourself to forge meaningful connections with others. To build connections, prioritize listening, 75, over speaking, 25. People often enjoy discussing their passions and interests, so allowing them to share about themselves can foster a strong bond. By asking follow-up questions, you can maintain engagement and demonstrate genuine interest in getting to know the person better. To foster connections, focus on making individuals feel valued without expecting anything in return. A simple, sincere compliment or acknowledging someone's positive qualities can swiftly establish trust and potentially transform acquaintances into friends, all within a few minutes of kind words. On the contrary, consistently using someone's name fosters a sense of importance, naturally piquing their interest and engaging further. For those who struggle with remembering names, developing a strategy to effectively learn and utilize them is crucial for building connection. By cultivating a specific mindset, you can train yourself to instinctively build rapport and gain influence with others, fostering an unconscious ability to win them over. Exuding friendliness towards everyone, including unfamiliar individuals, cultivates a positive aura that draws people in. This attitude should be your initial response even in challenging situations or when interacting with difficult individuals. Moreover, consistently displaying genuine friendliness helps avoid the perception of insincerity, particularly if it's not motivated by personal gain. A well-established truth is that individuals tend to enjoy hearing themselves speak. To maximize the positive impact of social interactions, it's advantageous to let others dominate conversations. By actively listening and refraining from interrupting, you foster an environment where others feel valued and heard, leading them to develop a greater appreciation for your attentive presence. The silence can be beneficial in fostering positive connections. Instead of focusing on winning, the strive for understanding and harmony, as the alternative can damage friendships and foster arrogance, ultimately hindering a healthy relationship. When you acknowledge the mistake, express regret, and demonstrate understanding of its impact, this not only showcases humility but also fosters a culture of forgiveness in personal and professional relationships. Utilize questions that elicit affirmative answers on which you both concur, fostering a sense of unity and increasing the likelihood that the person will continue to agree with you as the discussion unfolds. Allowing individuals to feel that their opinions and thoughts are valued by giving them the perception that they possess innovative or excellent concepts. By presenting their thoughts as if they emerged organically within them, you earn social capital and foster a sense of mutual understanding, potentially leading to deeper connections with those individuals. Mastering the art of genuine connection, leveraging authentic impact rather than coercive control to foster meaningful relationships. True connection seeks genuine interactions rather than controlling others through deceitful means. When fostering lasting and significant bonds, it is crucial to employ authentic approaches that earn trust and respect from others. To have a lasting, positive impact on others, it's essential to be genuine and true to yourself. Individuals often respond to titles and authoritative personalities. By leveraging expertise in a specific domain, one can positively impact others and form meaningful connections, ultimately fostering friendships. Those possessing authority are more likely to secure leadership roles and exploit their position to influence others effectively. A powerful method for influencing individuals in support of a particular cause is to set a personal precedent. When an individual puts their words into action, demonstrating the same commitment they ask of others, they are more likely to gain followers. Fostering friendships is often more successful when you choose to highlight individuals' accomplishments over their shortcomings. By focusing on people's good deeds rather than their mistakes or uncontrollable circumstances, you can create a positive atmosphere that draws others to you. This approach fosters a sense of warmth and support, making it more likely for people to be drawn to your optimistic and encouraging nature. Beyond highlighting an individual's positive qualities, it's effective to regularly offer sincere appreciation for their abilities and traits. To foster lasting friendships, one must abandon the compulsion to always be correct and instead prioritize kindness towards others. Engaging in disputes over who's right can be hurtful and lead individuals to perceive each other unfavorably. Perceiving someone as overly self-assured or even a bully is unlikely to inspire camaraderie. Embracing empathy and compassion in interpersonal interactions tends to yield more positive outcomes and stronger bonds with others. 6. Not wanting to be right all the time. Chapter 7. becoming a good conversationalist to influence others' behavior. In the digital era, the ability to converse effectively is increasingly overlooked, despite being as vital now as it ever was. Those who effortlessly engage in face-to-face interactions are perceived as approachable and likable, fostering long-lasting bonds with others. These connections can, in turn, boost one's career prospects or personal relationship. Excellent relationships, whether friendship, romance, or professional partnerships, often stem from an engaging conversation. The skilled conversationalists are a delight to interact with due to their palpable enthusiasm, empathy, and self-understanding. Their ability to effortlessly converse makes it simple for others to establish a strong connection right away, as they seem to possess a boundless well of topics to explore together. Conversing with individuals lacking communication skills can be uncomfortable and even distressing. For many individuals, initiating conversations with strangers or even acquaintances can be challenging. Nevertheless, the significance of fostering personal connections through face-to-face interactions cannot be overstated. The way we communicate during these encounters, whether informal discussions or casual small talk, directly impacts the outcome and effectiveness of our exchanges with others. To effectively influence others through conversation, one must equip themselves with a well-rounded set of communication abilities. Some individuals effortlessly engage in discussions with diverse people, whereas others struggle even with casual conversation. The disparity between these two isn't about discovering common topics. It's about honing and refining one's conversational skills to sustain engaging interactions. The ability to adapt their tone and language to suit the conversation's context, engaging storytelling skills to share personal experiences and maintain interest. These qualities enable effective communication, fostering stronger relationships and a more enjoyable conversational experience for all parties involved. Ability to know what and when to share. Restate as developing a dialogue that leaves the other party with a positive impression, fostering a sense of satisfaction from the interaction. Effective discussions necessitate a balance of contributions from both parties. In this dynamic, when one individual poses an inquiry, the other should respond with a thoughtful answer that fosters continued dialogue, much like a well-coordinated game of catch, where each player takes turns tossing and catching the ball without interruption or dropped passes. During in-person interactions, individuals often swiftly form impressions about someone's likability, trustworthiness, and credibility, even if it's just a brief exchange. At their core, people yearn for engaging conversations that foster learning, laughter, and cherished memories they'll eagerly reminisce about. Many popular talk show hosts share a common trait: they're exceptional conversationalists. To develop strong conversational skills, consider the following strategies. Be genuinely interested in the other person. To engage in a meaningful and enjoyable conversation, individuals should cultivate genuine interest in their conversational partner, ES. By internalizing these questions, individuals can develop a deeper understanding of the person they're speaking with and identify potential topics for discussion. This approach fosters empathy, builds connections, and leads to richer conversations. Who is this person? A conversation without a genuine spark tends to fizzle out. It's more practical to seek out individuals you truly want to converse with and have a deeper connection with them instead. Just shifting the focus towards uplifting subjects can lead to a more harmonious flow of conversation. By discussing optimistic topics like future aspirations and pleasant memories, interactions tend to be more productive. To foster engaging conversations, cultivate a forward-thinking attitude that prioritizes offering solutions over lamenting issues or demonstrates empathy rather than judging others. This mindset not only makes you more appealing as a conversational partner, but also helps avoid draining the energy of those around you, a phenomenon often referred to as being an energy vampire. by defaulting to negative and critical approaches. Have a conversation, not an argument or debate. Productive conversations are paths for exchanging perspectives, not platforms for dismissing others' views. Furthermore, it's essential to respect individuals' boundaries, honoring their personal decisions without prejudice or interference in their space. In a conversation, cultivate an atmosphere of positivity by focusing on the other person's strengths and accomplishments. By doing so, you demonstrate exceptional conversational abilities and help others feel valued and confident in the process. During conversations, focus on finding common ground to foster connections and deepen understanding, ultimately enriching the exchange. This approach not only strengthens relationships, but also facilitates personal growth through the discovery of others' experiences and views. A dialogue where one person merely parrots the other's sentiments is often monotonous and unfulfilling, as there will be no fresh perspectives or excitement in the conversation. Individuals who authentically represent themselves tend to express genuine views and perspectives with ease and tact. This openness fosters engaging conversations and influential relationships. While the split may vary, be it 50-50, 60-40, or 40-60, the key principle is that each party should have a reasonable chance to engage in the dialogue and share their thoughts and ideas. A talented conversationalist truly listens, asks thoughtful follow-ups to show engagement, and reciprocates by sharing personal insights when others do so. Effective dialogue requires empathy, attentiveness, and a willingness to contribute equally in the conversation. Moreover, some individuals avoid posing questions during conversations as they perceive it as intrusive or impolite, preferring instead to maintain a more passive communication style. In discussions, individuals may unexpectedly share awkward or offensive remarks, prompting adverse reactions from others. Thus starting a conversation. A conversation acts as a fundamental component in creating and nurturing various social connections. At first glance, conversations appear to be straightforward exchanges of opinions and perspectives. Yet, beneath this surface, it presents significant opportunities for discovering new insights, fortifying relationships, and sharing one's own ideas, perspectives, and information. When interacting with those outside of close relationships, individuals often find themselves limited by rigid conversational structures and topic choices. Just sharing exciting news or ideas with a friend can be more effortless than engaging a stranger in meaningful dialogue. Yet, highly skilled communicators possess the ability to redirect even casual conversations toward desired outcomes. To develop these skills, one must first master the art of initiating a conversation. Effective opening lines for steering conversations towards a specific goal include: to initiate a productive conversation, it's effective to begin by offering a sincere and specific praise or admiration that makes the person feel valued and appreciated. This initial positive statement serves as an icebreaker, helping to establish a rapport and making them more receptive and engaged in the discussion to follow. By doing so, you create a positive atmosphere where they are more likely to be open-minded and cooperative throughout the conversation. Ask for a small, uncomplicated favor as a way to establish a natural sense of rapport and common ground with the person you're interacting with. This initial, seemingly minor request can subtly foster a deeper bond or shared understanding with the other party. Use a witty, clever remark to bring a grin to the other person's face, fostering an instant sense of rapport and potentially maintaining it throughout your interaction. Begin by bringing up a seemingly trivial or neutral topic, and then skillfully steer the ensuing discussion towards the intended focus or objective. E.g., pose a specific, relevant query that focuses the discussion on the individual's preferred subject matter. Initiating a conversation can be the catalyst for exploring various directions. To effectively engage others and shape their actions, it is crucial to excel at active listening. a challenging yet achievable skill. Active listening requires full attention on what someone is saying, allowing for deeper understanding and meaningful connection. This involves taking mental notes of non-verbal cues and fully engaging in the conversation to show genuine interest. Effective conversationalists demonstrate active listening through a combination of verbal and non-verbal signals, such as inviting the speaker to continue, maintaining eye contact, nodding, and employing other non-verbal cues that foster a sense of being heard and understood. Effective interaction relies heavily on attentive listening, a skill that goes beyond mere auditory reception. True listening involves a deliberate and focused effort to comprehend another's perspective, demonstrating genuine interest in their thoughts and ideas. These include posing thoughtful questions, displaying facial warmth through smiles, minimizing distractions, mirroring the speaker's emotions with expressions, adopting an open posture, maintaining steady eye contact, offering encouraging nods or words, seeking clarification on key points, restating ideas in one's own words, recalling pivotal details, and summarizing the previous speaker's meant. Effective communication can shape how others behave. We often encounter situations where we need to impact people in social, professional, or personal context. This influence may manifest as inspiring, building relationships, securing support, persuading, or sparking imagination. Regardless of the form, being a skilled conversationalist simplifies the process and makes it more successful. Chapter 8. Read other people's body language. About non-verbal communication. Non-verbal communication occurs through various channels such as physical appearance, touch, facial expressions, posture, distance, and body language. This silent form of messaging conveys information without relying on spoken or written words. The effectiveness of a message can be greatly influenced by non-verbal cues. Accurate use of these signals often yields positive results, whereas incongruent verbal and non-verbal communication may lead to misunderstandings or misinterpretations. The verbal cues are just as significant as spoken words in determining whether someone is being truthful and engaged. When non-verbal expressions align with verbal statements, it fosters trust, clear understanding, and a sense of connection. Initial perceptions are heavily influenced by non-verbal cues as they represent one's self-portrayal during a first encounter. Notably, non-verbal signals convey more significance than verbal communication, as they provide a comprehensive representation of a person's character without the need for words. Non-verbal cues, such as facial expressions, body language, tone of voice, and physical touch, have several key roles in human interaction. Complementary role: they support and reinforce verbal messages, adding clarity and emphasis to what is being communicated. The supplementary role: non-verbal cues can convey information that may not be explicitly stated verbally, often providing context or nuance. The substitutional role: in situations where verbal communication isn't possible or effective, non-verbal signals can serve as a primary means of conveying meaning and intent. Contrastive role: non-verbal behavior can contradict or challenge what is being said verbally, hinting at underlying emotions, attitudes, or intentions that may not be explicitly expressed. These roles highlight the significance of non-verbal communication in shaping our understanding of others, influencing social dynamics, and facilitating effective human interaction. Reiterating non-verbal cues, such as a nod of the head in agreement, reinforces one's spoken words, making them more convincing and potent. This convergence of verbal and non-verbal signals, like saying yes and nodding simultaneously, can amplify the impact of a message and enhance overall communication effectiveness. Non-verbal cues can actually counteract the spoken message, leading to an inconsistency between what is said and shown. For instance, If someone claims they had a great time but expresses themselves in a monotonous tone without displaying any emotional enthusiasm, this non-verbal behavior contradicts their verbal assertion, creating a disconnect. Enhancing non-verbal cues can amplify the effect of a message. This synergy between verbal and non-verbal expressions can lead to a more profound and memorable communication experience. Non-verbal cues can amplify the intended meaning of a message by incorporating elements like body language, tone of voice, and deliberate pauses. These techniques can strengthen the impact of a communication by adding layers of significance to the verbal content. Sometimes, non-verbal cues can effectively convey messages in place of spoken words. An illustration of this is that a brief physical gesture, such as miming one's height with outstretched hands, can better convey the concept of being short compared to simply sharing numerical height information. Non-verbal communication can be a powerful substitute for verbal messaging in certain contexts. Non-verbal communication entails a twofold process: encoding and decoding. Encoding involves creating messages through non-verbal cues such as facial expressions, postures, gestures, touch, and body movements. The non-verbal communication primarily concentrates on three fundamental aspects: proxemics, the study of personal space, and how individuals use it to convey messages such as comfort levels or discomfort. Kinesics, analysis of body language, encompassing facial expressions, gestures, postures, and eye contact, all of which can reveal emotions, attitudes, and intention. Chronemics, exploration of the role of time in communication, including punctuality, lateness, and the significance of timing within interactions to convey meaning or create impression. The context in which communication unfolds, referring to the setting or situation that shapes and influences the interaction between individuals. Research indicates that non-verbal cues account for approximately 67% of the total communication process. To enhance one's overall communication abilities, it is crucial not only to pay attention to others' non-verbal signals, but also to be aware of and manage one's own non-verbal expression. Types of non-verbal communication. Beyond spoken language, there exist diverse forms of silent or unspoken expression that convey meaning and facilitate understanding between individuals, including gestures, facial expressions, body postures, touch, eye contact, and even spatial arrangements. These non-verbal cues are essential components of human interaction, often carrying significant emotional and contextual value in their own right. This form of non-verbal expression is closely tied to bodily gestures, serving as a silent means of conveying meaning through the way we move and use our physical selves. It's a vital aspect of human interaction that transcends spoken language, allowing us to express ourselves and connect with others through subtle yet potent body language cues. Nonverbal cues are often conveyed through facial expressions, which include the eyes and various regions of the face. This silent communication can be achieved by nodding, shaking one's head, smiling, winking, laughing, or even yawning, all of which utilize distinct facial features. Nonverbal communication through eye contact conveys a range of emotions and intentions, including engagement, attention, and interest. Body language conveys important information about a person's character, emotional state, and attitude, even beyond spoken words. Non-verbal cues like slumping, sitting up straight, crossing arms, spreading or crossing legs can convey various messages: positive, negative, attentive, friendly, or unfriendly. Environmental factors also impact posture. Individuals tend to adjust their body language according to the situation. This section discusses nonverbal communication through body language, or gestures. Many people utilize natural and instinctive movements like waving, pointing, or giving a thumbs up without much thought, often due to cultural upbringing. It is crucial to consider the cultural context of an individual when using gestures to avoid misinterpretation and potential misunderstanding. This form of nonverbal communication relies on auditory cues like tone, loudness, speed, and inflection in speech. A notable example is when someone claims to be joyful while conveying a neutral or even unhappy facial expression and speaking softly, illustrating the discrepancy between verbal and non-verbal messages. In addition to verbal communication, paralinguistic respiration encompasses various non-verbal cues that convey meaning. These paralinguistic features enrich our understanding of communication by providing additional layers of meaning beyond spoken words. This form of non-verbal expression utilizes tactile perception. It encompasses the various forms of communication that rely on physical contact, such as greeting someone with a handshake, displaying affection through hand-holding, or expressing camaraderie via backslaps and high fives. Additionally, our self-touch behaviors like scratching or chest thumping can also convey emotions without words. Touch serves as a non-verbal means of expressing empathy, love, and comfort among individuals. Its significance is contingent upon factors such as context, cultural background, nature of physical contact, and the existing connection between the people involved. It encompasses various aspects such as individuals' attitudes towards time, prioritization of time, organization of schedules, and responses to temporal factors in interaction. Illustrations of these differing time perceptions include one's capacity or inability to tolerate delay, a sense of punctuality, and the varying ways people experience and interact with the passage of time in communication. These differing time mindsets can significantly impact cross-cultural communication. A notable example is how the garments we wear can influence our perceived emotions. For instance, wearing vibrant clothing may evoke a sense of joy, while opting for more subdued attire might convey a mood of melancholy. Research suggests that an individual's visual presentation greatly influences others' perceptions, extending beyond salary, as it conveys intentional messages about their identity and intentions. This subtle signal relates to how much personal distance someone perceives as essential when interacting with others. Factors such as age, gender, and cultural background can shape an individual's sense of proximity or personal bubble. There are four primary aspects of proxemics that play a crucial role in human communication. 2 meters, 18 inches to 4 feet, is the comfortable zone people typically occupy in casual social interactions with friends, fostering a sense of familiarity and relaxed communication. The preceding passages differ significantly based on the nature of your connection to the individual in question, encompassing aspects such as emotions, closeness, and ease. Maintain positive body language. Through unspoken cues, including physical postures and hand movements, we can effectively communicate without words. When recipients respond favorably or with excitement to these non-verbal signals, it is referred to as positive body language. This type of communication often amplifies the impact of what we're verbally expressing. To project a confident and approachable demeanor, follow these guidelines for effective positive body language. Make eye contact. Engage others by maintaining direct, gentle gaze without being too intense. Use confident gestures. Utilize purposeful hand movements that convey enthusiasm and interest. Face the action. Direct your body towards the person or subject you're interacting with to show engagement. By adopting these positive body language habits, you can better connect with others, build trust, and project confidence in various social and professional settings. Effective communication involves making meaningful visual connections by frequently exchanging eye contact during a conversation. Engaging in this manner conveys genuine interest and engagement with the other person's thoughts. To steer clear of both slouching and stiffness, instead, aim for a natural comfort level that conveys confidence in being at ease. When interacting with others, maintain an open posture by keeping your hands at your sides and refraining from crossing them. This conveys receptiveness to the other person's words. Only use hand gestures when speaking, as this reinforces and enhances your message. By leaning forward during conversations, you demonstrate that you're attentively engaged and genuinely listening to others when they speak. To project a positive aura when sitting, subtly spread your legs apart to exude confidence and avoid restless movements like fidgeting or shuffling, as these actions convey a sense of uncertainty. Effective communication can be further enhanced through the use of affirmative nonverbal cues. The simple gestures like tilting one's head, extending a thumb upward, or flashing a friendly smile can convey understanding, assent, and active listening, fostering a sense of connection and rapport with others as they share their thoughts and ideas. Mirroring is a non-verbal technique where you subtly imitate someone's body language, tone of voice, and speaking style in a genuine manner, avoiding parody. This fosters a sense of connection between individuals as they feel understood and aligned with the mirroring person. By sharing similar non-verbal cues and attitudes, the other person is more likely to empathize and be receptive to your perspective. Avoid negative body language. The negative non-verbal cues can unwittingly convey emotions like annoyance, disinterest, hastiness, or self-doubt, often due to conscious or subconscious postures and facial expressions. When interacting with others, maintaining genuine eye contact is crucial. Averting your gaze by staring at the floor or merely observing the person from the side can convey a lack of confidence in yourself or your message. It's essential to make natural eye contact and control excessive blinking during conversation. Crossing one's arms can convey a negative impression in nonverbal communication, often signaling defensiveness, arrogance, or impatience, particularly when someone is speaking to you. To maintain a positive demeanor, it's recommended to keep your hands by your sides and reserve raising them for deliberate gestures rather than crossing them over the chest. Many individuals have an unconscious habit of frequently covering areas of their body that make them uneasy, such as the genital region or midsection. When engaging in conversation, one nonverbal cue that can instantly convey distraction or impatience is the habit of fidgeting with nearby items. As a habit-breaking strategy, it's essential to maintain a calm and relaxed stance with an open and steady posture for the feet in order to minimize these unintentional gestures. Posture reflects confidence. Slouching with rounded shoulders and sunken chest can convey a sense of self-doubt and resignation. This non-verbal cue can convey a lack of interest or impatience. When fidgeting with your facial features during conversations, you can inadvertently convey a poor impression, appearing unengaged, anxious, or preoccupied. By being mindful of these non-verbal cues, you can project a more confident and genuine demeanor in social interaction. The non-verbal cues of those surrounding us convey a wealth of information, often mirroring an individual's thoughts and feelings. Surprisingly, the majority of communication actually occurs through physical gestures rather than spoken words. Here are some key aspects to consider when reading people's body language. Eye contact can offer a non-verbal window into one's emotions and character. When interacting with someone, pay attention to non-verbal cues like pupils and eye movements. Despite people's ability to regulate their facial expressions, subtle cues can still be detected. Pay attention when others mirror your non-verbal cues, such as leaning on a surface. You might just catch them adopting the same posture and response. When standing near someone, that person may perceive you positively, while retreating when approached could indicate a lack of interest. While often overlooked, body language extends beyond hand movements and facial expressions to include foot cues that convey significant information about a person's attitude and emotions. When seated, an individual typically points their feet in the direction of their desired path, so if they're angled towards you, it suggests favorability and engagement. By paying attention to these subtle yet revealing signs from the lower half of the body, we can gain a more well-rounded understanding of another person's emotional state. Body language can be subtly revealed through hand gestures too. Meanwhile, placing one hand under the chin on a surface may suggest that a person is engaged and focused. However, using two hands to support their head typically conveys boredom or disinterest. Notice the individual body language, paying attention to the arm positioning. The mouth can provide significant non-verbal cues in interpreting body language. Non-verbal cues like hand movements can convey clear information, such as counting on one's fingers or using a wave to get attention. Yet, the significance of these non-verbal signals can be culturally specific and open to misinterpretation when interacting with individuals from different cultural backgrounds. Non-verbal cues like body language, particularly posture, reveal a great deal about an individual's emotional state and character. A relaxed, open stance often signals friendliness and approachability, whereas a closed or tense posture may suggest hostility or defensiveness, providing subtle insight into one's feelings and personality traits. As such, our understanding of gestures can vary significantly across cultures. 11. Posture. Chapter 9. Chapter 8. Develop emotional awareness. In the pursuit of a fulfilling personal life and professional accomplishments, emotional intelligence might hold greater significance than intellectual quotient EQ. This refers to an individual's capacity to identify, manage their own emotions, as well as comprehend and navigate those of others. Acquiring this skill enables individuals not only to recognize and comprehend their own emotions, but also to empathetically grasp those of others. This emotional awareness primarily unfolds through nonverbal cues, which in turn shapes people's thought processes and influences the quality of their interpersonal connections and relationships. Individuals who actively cultivate emotional intelligence can form a stronger connection with their emotions, leading to more informed choices regarding significant issues and the ability to convert goals into tangible action. The benefits of this self-awareness permeate various facets of one's life, encompassing lists forthcoming. To cultivate this skill effectively, individuals must recognize the distinction between acquiring knowledge and practically utilizing it in their daily routines. It's crucial to cultivate effective coping mechanisms for dealing with stress in order to maintain a high level of emotional intelligence. This heightened self-awareness can be accompanied by numerous benefits, such as acquiring the following valuable traits and competencies. A. Self-emotion. Steps to develop emotional awareness. Certain individuals possess an innate capacity for emotional acuity. Typically, individuals who achieve emotional intelligence take the initiative to nurture their self-awareness of emotions. Cultivating emotional awareness encompasses the growth of several key aspects, which include, through dedication, persistence, and a gradual process, individuals can cultivate essential emotional acumen. Mastering the ability to navigate these varying emotional expressions calls for astute discernment and diplomacy. This is where emotional awareness proves invaluable. Social skills and social awareness allow individuals to decipher the constant stream of verbal and non-verbal cues exchanged during communication. These signals enable people to recognize others' emotions, priorities, and shifting emotional states in real time. Actively observing and empathizing with others' emotions can provide valuable insights not only into their emotional states, but also one's own, fostering a deeper understanding of shared human experiences. The self-awareness. To cultivate emotional intelligence, one crucial step is to develop self-awareness. This means being intimately familiar with your own emotions, which in turn allows you to recognize how these feelings shape your behaviors and thoughts. Do you take the time to be aware of and consider the emotional impact of events on yourself, as well as any resulting outcomes or reactions? You possess the capacity to feel and exhibit distinct emotions through minute changes on your face, such as a furrowed brow or a gentle smile. If certain life experiences seem unusual or are unknown to you, it may indicate a lack of self-awareness. To cultivate emotional well-being and this awareness, one must reconnect with their inner emotions, comprehend them, accept them, and feel at ease with them. By doing so, it redirects one's focus away from entanglement in thoughts towards a deeper comprehension and gratitude for the present moment, encompassing both emotional and physical experiences. Furthermore, mindfulness helps individuals center themselves, fostering a sense of calmness while increasing self-awareness and emotional perception. Individuals driven by motivation typically possess a strong sense of emotional acuity, granting them the capacity and enthusiasm to prioritize enduring over prompt achievement. A crucial aspect of emotional intelligence involves empathizing with others by grasping their perspectives, requirements, and desires. Individuals with this trait excel in pinpointing and comprehending the emotions and feelings of others, often even when these are subtly expressed or not immediately apparent. To cultivate emotional intelligence, individuals must learn to regulate their emotions so they can be harnessed for wise choices regarding behavior and actions. During periods of intense stress, many people struggle to manage their emotions, leading to impulsive decisions that may not align with their best interests. Nevertheless, emotions serve as valuable cues, providing insight into oneself and others. They are essential for personal growth and understanding. Yet, by cultivating the capacity for emotional awareness and stress management, people can adapt to challenging circumstances without sacrificing self-control and rational thinking. Moreover, these individuals possess the capacity to make more informed decisions, taking proactive steps, controlling impulsive actions and emotions, honoring their obligations, managing their emotional well-being, and effectively adjusting to changing situations. Effective collaboration begins with empathy, the capacity to comprehend and relate to others' emotions and experiences, a crucial aspect of emotional intelligence. As individuals cultivate this awareness, they can further develop vital life skills, ultimately nurturing richer, productive, and successful connection. It's crucial for individuals to recognize their use of nonverbal cues, as these silent signals often accompany spoken communication, revealing one's emotional state. Recognizing and interpreting these nonverbal indicators is crucial for fostering stronger relationships, as it allows us to more accurately understand others' emotions and respond empathetically. Humor enables individuals to release emotional burdens while maintaining a realistic outlook. By embracing conflicts as opportunities for growth, individuals can cultivate more resilient and meaningful connections with others. To cultivate emotional intelligence through relationship management, one must learn to resolve disagreements constructively, thereby reinforcing trust among individuals. The self-confidence. The self-assurance is a vital aspect of emotional intelligence. It's the emotional core of one's character and typically characterizes individuals who exude a strong, optimistic self-image and genuine warmth towards both themselves and others, all without veering into arrogance. When obstacles emerge, individuals with high self-confidence persist in believing in their abilities and strive to surmount hurdles rather than surrendering. A person's level of self-confidence ultimately defines what they can achieve across various aspects of life. On the other hand, excessive arrogance can also hinder emotional awareness, leading to negative consequences in one's personal, social, or professional life. This confidence is crucial for cultivating emotional acumen, a vital component in creating the favorable social encounters necessary for establishing self-worth. In essence, self-assurance shapes one's emotional understanding, which, in turn, positively impacts individuals' lives. A lack of self-confidence can significantly impact various facets of an individual's existence, often creating a perpetual cycle of struggle. When self-assurance is absent, it typically hampers one's self-awareness, making it even harder to accomplish goals across multiple domains of life. This interdependent relationship highlights the importance of cultivating confidence for personal growth and success. The uplifting aspect is that anyone can cultivate self-assurance and leverage it to accomplish their objectives. An individual's level of self-confidence manifests in numerous aspects, including posture, behavior, verbal expressions, tone of voice, and more, making it a crucial trait to develop. The self-efficacy arises when individuals perceive themselves and others similar to them, accomplishing important goals and developing valuable skills, often as a result of effort and perseverance leading to success. The self-esteem refers to a broader sense of self-assurance, encompassing one's capacity to manage life's challenges and the conviction that it's acceptable to be happy. The self-confidence plays a vital role in maintaining mental well-being, emotional intelligence, and overall health. While cognitive ability like IQ can significantly impact one's success, emotional intelligence is equally crucial for achieving personal goals and fostering connections with others. As a result, many organizations now prioritize testing emotional intelligence during the hiring process. Emotionally aware individuals are more likely to engage in self-reflection, acknowledging their strengths and weaknesses honestly. This introspective quality enables them to absorb feedback constructively, using it as an opportunity for growth and performance enhancement, regardless of their inherent abilities. Chapter 10. How to become more likable. Many individuals experience a sense of unpopularity at some stage, even with a strong network of loved ones. The universal desire is to gain widespread appreciation and admiration in various settings, professional, academic, and personal environments. While being naturally charming may seem like a birthright for some likable individuals, it is actually a skill set that can be acquired by anyone. When assessing our own likability, we should consider how others feel in our presence. Do they feel at ease, valued, and accepted? To cultivate likability, one must develop qualities such as approachability, warmth, emotional stability, trustworthiness, and openness. To cultivate likability, one must develop qualities such as approachability, warmth, emotional stability, trustworthiness, and openness. As people come to rely on you, they're more apt to open up, collaborate, and achieve shared goals efficiently. To foster such trust, it's crucial to maintain an honest and open demeanor. By doing so, you create an environment where others feel comfortable sharing, working together, and achieving success through cooperation. To cultivate honesty and trust, consider these crucial elements. To authentically interact with others, it's essential to have a deep understanding of one's own thoughts, feelings, and motivations. We must grasp our personal perspectives on life and those around us. By doing so, we can foster self-awareness and honesty in both our internal reflections and external interactions with others. Embracing a receptive mindset is essential for fostering genuine connections with others. By actively listening to their perspectives, we can cultivate empathy and understanding. It's crucial to create a safe environment where people feel comfortable sharing their thoughts and emotions about our actions or behavior without fear of reprisal. This openness encourages honesty and trust, leading to stronger, authentic relationships. In everyday life, it's common to experience impatience at times, such as being stuck in traffic on the way to a meeting, and becoming agitated by the unexpected weight. The description of feeling stressed and sweaty might resonate with your own experiences. Fortunately, patience is a skill that can be developed through practice, much like any other ability. By doing so, one can cultivate more harmonious connections and make more thoughtful decisions. Benefits of developing patience. Reduces stress levels. As one's impatience escalates, stress tends to intensify, rendering individuals more prone to emotional outbursts like anger. Conversely, cultivating patience empowers people to govern their emotions, reducing the likelihood of sudden irritation. By embracing a patient mindset, individuals can navigate challenging circumstances with serenity and composure, ultimately fostering a more even-keel approach to life's tribulation. It helps you make better decisions. By being patient, one avoids hasty conclusions and choices, instead taking the necessary time to thoroughly assess the situation before arriving at a resolution. It helps you to develop empathy and compassion. Individuals who exercise patience and empathy make a deliberate effort to grasp the experiences of those around them, fostering deeper connections and more sympathetic bonds with others as a result. Facilitates a deeper appreciation for the journey of personal development. Empowers you to recognize and cherish the path of self-improvement. This trait also fosters healthy growth in one's professional endeavors, such as a business, by allowing it to unfold at its natural pace without pressuring immediate outcomes. Tips to help you develop patience. Recognize your impatience. Look into the source of your impatience. You might benefit from effective time management. By scheduling tasks in a manageable way, you can avoid feeling swamped and make progress on your responsibilities. Practice delayed gratification. Practice thinking before you speak. It's essential to take a thoughtful approach when communicating, considering the potential impact of our words on others, in order to foster a culture of respect and understanding by avoiding hurtful or unintended offense. Empathy is the act of imaginatively stepping into another person's perspective to comprehend their emotional experiences. This entails being mindful of others' feelings and emotions. Cognitive empathy is the ability to mentally step into another person's shoes, comprehending and adopting their perspective to understand their thoughts, feelings, and experiences. Emotional empathy refers to the ability to genuinely experience and share another individual's feelings, such as tears of sorrow when consoling someone who has lost a loved one. It involves a deep understanding and connection with others' emotional states, allowing for a sense of shared emotional resonance. Demonstrating tender understanding by internalizing others' emotions and responding with supportive measures to alleviate their distress. Boosting your empathetic skills is achievable through these tested and effective methods, allowing you to better understand others' perspectives and emotions. To stretch your horizons by attempting a novel experience that has the potential to bring you down to earth and foster humility in the process. Cultivate self-awareness by exploring works that delve into the complexities of interpersonal connections and human emotions to enhance your capacity for empathy and understanding in personal and professional setting. Solicit input. Consistently pay attention to the perspectives of others and frequently follow up to gauge their progress and well-being. Active listening. Effective communication hinges upon a valuable skill, active listening. This involves dedicating undivided attention to the person speaking, summarizing their points in your own words, and resisting the urge to judge or interrupt. The goal is to fully absorb the speaker's message before offering a thoughtful response that demonstrates understanding of what was conveyed. By doing so, you foster deeper connections and facilitate more productive interactions with others. Through dedication and repetition, one can master the art of active listening, an invaluable ability that enhances personal and professional outcomes. By fostering a genuine sense of being heard and understood, this skill not only boosts job performance but also strengthens relationships across various aspects of life, leading to a more harmonious and productive experience for all parties involved. To effectively engage with a speaker, one must actively strive to grasp their intended meaning by focusing on both what is said, verbal cues, as well as how it's conveyed, non-verbal signals. To facilitate this, they might jot down essential details to help solidify their understanding in their minds, restate in one's own words, provide a response that reflects an understanding of the original message, achieved by carefully considering and retaining the essential points made by the speaker, and maintaining eye contact while someone speaks sends a positive message, conveying interest and engagement. It's effective when paired with a friendly smile or other forms of non-verbal communication, strengthening the connection between individuals in a conversation. Steady smile and nods. Non-verbal cues, indicative of attentive listening, include subtly adjusting one's physical position to demonstrate engagement. Additionally, listeners may angle their head or rest it on the palm of their hand, conveying an attitude of deep consideration and focus on the speaker. And neutral and non-judgmental. Avoid distractions. I, asking questions. Early reflecting on what was said. Asking for clarification. A, positive feedback. How to improve your active listening skill. When engaging in a conversation, it's essential to focus on the speaker by making eye contact. This means directing your attention away from distractions like phones and towards the person speaking. C. Practice active listening. Give the speaker your undivided attention until they finish speaking, resisting the urge to form an opinion prematurely. Avoid interrupting others while they speak, as this may prevent you from fully understanding their point and comes across as impolite. Instead, listen attentively and reserve your questions or comments for later in the conversation. To confirm comprehension of the speaker's point and avoid miscommunication, engage in reflective and clarifying activities. Reflection involves paraphrasing the original statement in your own words, demonstrating understanding and confirming that you're on the same wavelength as the speaker. Clarification, meanwhile, entails asking questions to address any unclear or ambiguous aspects of the message, ensuring a shared understanding. H. Engage by sharing your perspective after fully understanding and considering what's been said. It's time for you to contribute your thoughts, opinions, or ideas to the discussion. To do so effectively, always be attentive listeners first, as this allows you to thoughtfully share your insights. The process of resolving such disputes is called conflict resolution, which involves a range of approaches and techniques. A prevalent strategy in conflict resolution is denial or avoidance, where both sides pretend the issue doesn't exist and instead of engaging, they disengage. Although this tactic can be effective in resolving minor disputes that will naturally dissipate over time, it's not a reliable approach for more substantial conflicts that require addressing underlying issues. However, this approach has limitations, as it doesn't allow the weaker party to air their grievances or propose alternative solutions, thereby hindering a more comprehensive resolution of the conflict. Accommodation occurs when one person yields to another's needs or desires in order to maintain a peaceful coexistence, often prioritizing the preservation of their relationship over the resolution of disagreements. This approach necessitates collaborative efforts between the conflicting parties to mutually discover and settle on a resolution. This process demands a dedicated investment of time from each side, allowing them to collectively converge upon a mutually acceptable outcome. While neither party fully achieves their desired outcome, this collaborative approach ensures fairness and can lead to a workable resolution. When fostering a positive connection with someone, explore the commonalities you both enjoy. Additionally, these flexible individuals proactively extend assistance to their peers, fostering a supportive team environment. Be open-minded. Be prepared to consider alternative viewpoints, recognizing the value in diverse perspectives. Moreover, cultivate a willingness to actively listen to others' thoughts and adapt your understanding to incorporate their opinions. I'll be optimistic. I stay calm. I'll plan ahead, and you have a strong network support. Fostering harmonious connections with those around you, whether at work or home, can serve as a vital source of comfort during turbulent times. This refers to the capability of making informed, thoughtful decisions by accurately evaluating available choices and drawing astute conclusions based on a thorough understanding of the circumstances at hand. Take a step back, ensure you've gathered all relevant information, and mentally exhaust all possible perspectives before forming an opinion or making a decision. Seek out diverse perspectives on the issue at hand to accumulate valuable insights, which in turn can inform and guide your decision-making process. Take a moment to reflect on whether the choice requires immediate action or can be postponed for a later time. Consider the urgency and potential consequences of your decision, allowing yourself the flexibility to decide when the optimal time is to take action. You reflect on your previous mistakes and use them as a valuable learning experience to improve moving forward. Never use hesitant language like "I hope so." This helps build rapport and a sense of mutual comfort in the conversation. Empathetically engage with your target group, being attuned to their feelings and adapting your approach to resonate with them on a deeper level. This describes an individual who can accept, consider, and potentially adapt their perspectives in response to novel concepts, opinions, or data that diverge from their own beliefs. Such a person exhibits flexibility and responsiveness to fresh information, willing to modify their viewpoints as they encounter credible facts and evidence. As we expand our knowledge through novel approaches, our cognitive abilities enhance, leading to a more diverse range of experiences. People who maintain an open-minded stance often fascinate others in conversations due to they are not quick to judge. Because of their adaptability and capacity for transformation, these individuals tend to experience lower levels of stress as a result of being more resilient in the face of uncertainty or shifting circumstances. Individuals in question possess enhanced abilities for deliberation, judgment, and resolving complex issues effectively. While some may naturally possess this trait, it is also a skill that can be developed over time. Individuals with a strong sense of humor are often charismatic companions. The studies have demonstrated that cultivating a good sense of humor has numerous benefits for both mental and physical well-being. How to develop your sense of humor? The Meister wit over whimsy. Your humor will resonate more if it's sharp and clever rather than juvenile or absurd. Consider honing your comedic skills among familiar company as a precursor to perfecting your timing and tone. Discover the humor in your life experiences. As you find amusement in a particular matter, it's likely that others will too, since laughter often transcends individual boundaries and can be shared among people. Consider the moment and your listeners. Humor shouldn't be a constant, as it's more effective when it arises organically rather than being artificially inserted. Timing and audience awareness are key to a natural and engaging sense of humor. Good etiquette encompasses proper behavior and courteous treatment of others, fostering a pleasant social atmosphere. These social skills are often developed from an early age, such as in kindergarten, while also being refined throughout one's life. Individuals who exhibit good manners tend to be enjoyable to be around. How to develop good manners? What about you? This encourages the other person to reciprocate and share their name in return, fostering an amiable tone for the subsequent interaction. Instead, opting for respectful and considerate phrasing will contribute to more effective communication. This demonstrates consideration and respect for individuals' boundaries and property. Instead of straining to grab something that's out of arm's reach, politely ask the person nearby to hand it over to you, promoting a more comfortable and safe interaction. This simple adjustment can help reduce fatigue, prevent injuries, and foster better communication in daily life or at work. Be cautious with sharing your personal details online and avoid over-revealing aspects of your life on social media platforms. Be considerate of others' boundaries and don't initiate unwanted communication, such as text messages or image sharing, without their prior consent or permission. Respect individuals' personal space and only share content with those who have expressed interest in receiving it from you. Being supportive involves offering comfort, empathy, and motivation. The presence of such individuals in our lives is crucial as they serve as a reliable source of emotional sustenance during challenging times. To be present as a supportive ear, sometimes simply sharing concerns with someone who actively listens without passing judgment, can be the most valuable help a friend could ask for. To be a reliable source of guidance, be prepared to share your insights and expertise as needed when friends seek your counsel in times of uncertainty or decision-making. Express warmth and fondness to the people in your life, conveying a sense of importance and tenderness towards them. Develop a trustworthy and supportive relationship by being the go-to individual where friends feel comfortable sharing their thoughts, concerns, and emotions with you. It entails demonstrating a heightened level of enthusiasm and fascination towards a particular subject matter, driving your motivation to actively engage. Chapter 11. Influence and Leading Without Authority. Effective leadership is a dynamic process involving the ability to make creative and inspiring choices, fostering collaboration to reach a shared objective. Leadership is an art form that demands harmonious integration of key qualities. By achieving this equilibrium, one can successfully lead while also providing guidance, oversight, and motivation without relying solely on authority. Influence describes one's capacity to persuasively alter another person's perspectives and actions, shaping them according to one's desired outcome. Exerting influence without relying on authority requires a skill that's developed by mastering factors contributing to impact. One way to do this is by understanding various leadership styles and their effects, as well as the behaviors conducive to leading or influencing others. Discover how you can guide and shape others' behavior effectively without leveraging power in the following information. Leaders craft a shared vision, chart a course, and energize teams to work collectively towards realizing their targets. Some leaders employ leadership styles to sway their followers, using these approaches to motivate or drive individuals toward desired outcomes. Each leader possesses a unique leadership style, yet the most impactful results often come from blending various styles. These methods adapt to diverse situations, enabling leaders to adjust their approach according to the context at hand. In collaborative leadership, a collective approach drives decision-making, with all team members playing an active role. The leader sets the course while individuals freely share and discuss their thoughts, fostering an environment of high morale and idea sharing. This style yields successful outcomes as each member contributes their best insights. Visionary leaders derive their motivation from a broad, aspirational perspective of an organization's future potential. By fostering cohesion, they navigate organizations through transformative periods, instilling innovation and guiding the company towards positive growth. Pace-setting leaders are highly driven individuals focused on achieving goals. When team members fall behind, pace-setters identify the issue and encourage improvement. If necessary, they may replace underperforming employees. Positive feedback is scarce, but leaders will intervene to accelerate progress or even take over tasks if development lags too far behind their expectations. Affiliative leaders excel at fostering collaboration by resolving disputes, promoting harmonious interactions, and cultivating emotional connections among team members. Through a positive and creative approach, they consistently achieve results while maintaining high-quality work. Additionally, they successfully mediate conflicts in teams, revitalizing stressed members and guiding the group toward unity. These leaders not only lead but also develop their team members, thriving in a performance-driven environment where growth is essential. By nurturing their subordinates' skills and preparing them for long-term success, they foster a culture of strength within the organization. Through motivation, encouragement, and inspiration, these leaders guide their team by providing clear direction while maintaining open and active communication. Effectively shaping someone's perspective doesn't involve coercion. Instead, it's about guiding them towards a more beneficial outcome through their own volition. Certain key strategies can aid in understanding how to positively influence others without resorting to force, such as insert tactics. A leader must foster a two-way exchange of knowledge by continually seeking out, gathering, and disseminating information to others. As leaders accumulate more information, they can provide increasingly precise guidance, allowing subordinates to better grasp their roles and responsibilities, ultimately responding effectively to the leader's directives. A person's attitude towards others significantly impacts how they respond. This in turn affects whether others will follow that individual's lead. A positive attitude reveals a person's integrity, while an unfavorable one can erode trust. Attitude allows for genuine self-expression and fosters diligence through organization and preparation. The right approach reflects a person's character, enhancing their ability to inspire and lead others. For instance, drawing from past experiences can inform financial decisions and guide the development of necessary skills and processes to achieve a specific objective. Resource management also involves prioritizing urgent matters, streamlining workloads, and optimizing systems, all of which have a direct impact on people. By leveraging these assets in a thoughtful and organized manner, an individual can rally a group towards unity and productivity. Influence relies heavily on credibility, as trusted individuals who demonstrate expertise can inspire others to follow their guidance. As a result, people are more likely to be persuaded by an expert's advice, driven by trust in their credentials and the assurance that their proposed solutions are well-informed and effective. This understanding empowers you to decipher others' reactions and anticipate responses, allowing you to proactively address potential concerns by exploring alternative approaches. Moreover, strong relationships foster trust, making it more likely for others to willingly comply with your guidance. When delivered thoughtfully, constructive feedback can foster healthy relationships and personal development. By adopting these approaches, you can use criticism as a tool for growth and understanding rather than a source of conflict and resentment. This involves offering constructive feedback that is delivered with compassion, rather than making negative judgments that might come across as critical or hurtful. Conclude constructive feedback by highlighting the positive aspects and emphasizing individual accomplishments to maintain a sense of pride and motivation within the group. This approach fosters a more receptive attitude towards improvement and encourages continued growth. Proactive planning allows all stakeholders to thoroughly examine the issue's core cause, subsequently enabling them to develop a thoughtful and constructive solution. This process, in turn, fosters significant development not only for the individual but also for those they interact with. The way we exert our influence over others significantly affects the outcome, leading either to beneficial changes in behavior or attitudes or unfavorable consequences. Identifying the primary forms of influence, typically categorized into four, enables one to strategically apply effective methods, recognizing when to utilize them and when to steer clear to achieve the desired impact on another person's conduct or mindset. A positively influential leader transforms those they guide over time, fostering growth and connections among team members while instilling leadership skills within them. Leading with a negative influence can be highly detrimental because individuals with an overinflated sense of self-importance rely on coercion rather than inspiration to command attention, allegiance, and admiration from others. This approach breeds poor outcomes, including subpar work quality due to the toxic atmosphere it fosters. Option C. A neutral leader has no distinct impact and allows team members to take the initiative rather than providing direction themselves. This approach can be detrimental as it doesn't foster productivity or progress within the group. This description refers to leaders who wield a profound, transformative impact through their words and actions. They accumulate wisdom over the years and employ this knowledge to produce long-lasting, positive effects that reshape individuals' lives. These influential leaders invest all of their energy into empowering others, ensuring that the benefits they've instilled persist even after their direct involvement ends. In summary, it's essential for individuals to develop the skills and tactics necessary to effectively lead and inspire others, even in the absence of formal authority. By possessing this understanding, they can cultivate a reputation as a respected leader and harness their impact to drive positive change within their sphere of influence. They prioritize the well-being and progress of those around them, forgoing personal desires in favor of leaving a lasting, valuable impression on people's lives. Chapter 12. How to use storytelling to influence people. The storytelling, a timeless tradition, has long served as a powerful means of conveying messages and shaping opinions. From ancient times to the present day, every aspect of our world, including our very lives, can be seen as a narrative waiting to be shared. By engaging our senses, emotions, and intellect, stories have the ability to captivate and connect with audiences in profound ways. A compelling narrative requires an emotional foundation and genuine, recognizable characters, fostering audience connection and broader understanding. To succeed, anticipate your audience, goal, and medium up front. A great story should be distinct, captivating, and convey a sense of mission, dedication, and pride. To truly engage an audience, securing their full attention is crucial. Surprisingly, storytelling remains one of the most effective methods to captivate any age group. It is a list of innovative strategies that can help you grab and keep your audience's focus. To effectively begin a narrative, establish the setting by painting a vivid picture of the environment. Incorporate sufficient details that allow your audience to conjure up mental images and immerse themselves in the world you're creating. An engaging introduction is vital, as it sets the tone and sparks curiosity, encouraging readers to keep reading and find out what unfolds next. Just as in films, a captivating opening scene can make you sit up and crave more, eager to see how the story plays out. These unique, genuine narratives resonate more with listeners than invented stories because they're relatable and feel like a first-hand account. By recounting events as if the audience was alongside you, you will make them feel like active participants in the story, fostering a stronger connection. As a storyteller, incorporate physicality by utilizing facial expressions, hand gestures, and footwork to convey a narrative. Additionally, consider engaging the audience through participatory movements, inviting them to follow suit with certain bodily actions during the story. This technique keeps readers engaged, eager to learn more, and invested in the story's progression. Engage your audience on a deeper level by crafting your narrative to resonate emotionally, mentally, and visually with them. To truly captivate your audience's attention, it's essential to evoke strong emotions within them, fostering a connection that extends beyond mere intellectual interest. Employ evocative staging. By striking deliberate and emotive poses during pivotal narrative moments, you create a sense of anticipation, keeping viewers on the edge of their seats in suspense. This technique encourages critical thinking as they ponder the unfolding story, ensuring continued engagement until the very end. To add variety and engagement to storytelling, consider adopting distinct voices for different characters. This technique can make your narrative more captivating and memorable for listeners. By altering your tone, pitch, or inflection, you can bring characters to life and convey their unique personalities. Present a believable protagonist that resonates with readers by infusing the character with authentic flaws and accomplishments, much like the people in their own lives. This helps create an emotional connection between the audience and the main character. Envision an enchanting narrative that captivates through the infusion of suspenseful moments, imbuing it with a sense of whimsy reminiscent of a timeless fairy tale. Weave in unexpected twists to keep the reader engaged, ultimately crafting a one-of-a-kind story that unfolds like a mesmerizing fable. Effective storytelling offers a resolution to a relevant concern. An excellent narrative should convey a central message, allowing the audience to gain insight and apply the solution to a common issue they may face in their lives. Encourage audience engagement by incorporating interactive elements into the narrative at some stage. This could involve opening up a core session where viewers can pose queries, or alternatively, posing inquiries yourself and inviting the audience to respond with their thoughts and perspective. To craft an engaging narrative, ensure satisfying resolution follows difficult or trying segments. Introduce dramatic moments that stir emotional responses in your audience, leaving them uncertain about the character's success. Focus on the essential elements. Weed out non-essential details that detract from achieving your intended purpose, honing in on what truly matters in your narrative. Illustrate abstract concepts or events with a relatable, tangible scenario that resonates with listeners or readers, making the information more impactful and easier to remember. A compelling narrative should simultaneously stimulate intellect and imagination, as vivid visualization fosters a stronger connection and increased likelihood of taking action. The stories that effectively evoke imagination have the power to motivate, influence, or inspire audiences. Craft an engaging narrative that conveys the essence of your message. The story should captivate your audience and effectively summarize the key takeaways from your presentation. Although you don't anticipate a loud response, the subtle contemplation that follows has a persuasive impact on the audience. A well-crafted and delivered question can sway the audience's opinion to align with your message, pique their curiosity, and encourage them to seek further information. This statistic should be directly tied to your presentation, persuading the audience to take action based on your proposals. The goal is to captivate the audience's attention with an unexpected finding that underscores the importance of adopting your recommended approach. Choose a quote that resonates with your message and audience, allowing its wisdom to strengthen your overall communication. Opt for images over lengthy text, as they can greatly enhance understanding and captivate the audience's imagination. By incorporating image metaphors into your presentation, you'll spark creative thinking and increase the likelihood that your message will resonate with your audience, ultimately persuading them of its value. By incorporating props into your narrative, you can engage your audience's imagination and make them believe in the authenticity of the elements presented. These tangible items, such as a deck of cards, a map, or juggling balls, serve as a catalyst for the audience's creativity and imagination. Effective use of props can not only add humor to your story, but also reinforce the message you're conveying, making it more memorable and impactful. Harnessing the impact of video content in your storytelling enables strong connections with your audience, as visual engagement often surpasses mere understanding. To captivate your listeners, vary the pitch of your voice by speaking either louder or softer, transforming your narrative into a captivating performance. By doing so, you add an element of drama and intrigue to your storytelling, making it more engaging for your audience. A speaker's initial moments have a significant impact on how an audience perceives them. Boredom or engagement often sets in within the first few minutes. By incorporating effective voice modulation techniques such as varying tone, pitch, and pace, a presenter can effectively shake off monotony, keep their audience engaged, and grab their attention from the start. But this doesn't require shouting. Instead, focus on speaking with clarity and confidence, as excessive loudness may alienate your audience and detract from the message's effectiveness. To maintain engagement with your audience, be mindful of the tone of your voice while speaking. This variation in tone will help maintain an audience's interest throughout. In narrative delivery, judiciously inserting dramatic pauses to emphasize keywords can transform a story into an engaging and participatory experience for the audience. Craft an engaging address for your listeners by incorporating humor when appropriate to leave a positive impression. Develop a personal narrative that resonates with your audience through authentic, everyday examples they can relate to. Encourage a two-way dialogue by allowing and responding to questions from the audience. Ultimately, ensure your story effectively conveys a significant message that leaves a lasting impact on your listeners. Effective use of dramatic pauses is a vital component of engaging storytelling, allowing for brief moments of tension that encourage audience contemplation and anticipation. By strategically inserting these pauses at key points in your narrative, such as immediately following an introduction or before transitioning to a new aspect of the story, you create suspense and leave listeners eager to discover what unfolds next. Repeatedly using these sounds during a presentation can detract from the message and disengage the audience, making it less likely for them to remain invested in what you're saying. Remember, your audience is seeking knowledge from you, so seize the opportunity to engage them by speaking with genuine enthusiasm. As you confidently share your message, it will resonate more deeply, fostering a sense of credibility and piquing the audience's interest in what you have to say. To craft an engaging narrative, consider employing Ken Adams' story spine formula. The initial stage of a narrative establishes the key players and the context in which they operate, with the main character being formally introduced to set the scene for the story that unfolds. A pivotal moment of tension arises, prompting the main character to respond and make choices that shed light on a central theme or moral dilemma. A sequence of escalating incidents arises from the main character's choices at each pivotal moment, ultimately building towards a dramatic peak. Consider what change or outcome you want to inspire in your audience once they've finished engaging with your story. To craft a distinctive narrative, find common ground with your audience while still conveying the tale in a fresh manner. One effective approach is to deconstruct stories that resonate with you, grasping what makes them compelling. What resonates with you in one tale might be a different aspect that captivates you in another, such as the atmosphere or the message. Recognizing these unique connections will enable you to refine your storytelling skills by identifying your own strengths and areas for improvement, ultimately allowing you to craft stories that effectively resonate with your audience. Elevating tales often feature a relatable, sympathetic protagonist who defies the odds, typically in the form of an underdog character that audiences can rally behind and support throughout the narrative. Audiences often empathize with the main character and celebrate their triumphs, but they also have a soft spot for underdog stories. The more adversity the protagonist encounters, the stronger the audience's emotional investment becomes in their journey as they root for their eventual success. As your character progresses from triumphs to dire circumstances, the stakes escalate, piquing the audience's interest and anticipation for a satisfying resolution. To maintain this sense of tension throughout the story, keeping readers invested until the protagonist overcomes or succumbs to the obstacle. To craft an effective narrative, consider the emotional impact it has on yourself as a storyteller. By recognizing your own reactions to stories, You will gain insight into what resonates with others. Focusing on relatable character emotions is crucial in evoking a strong response from your audience, as this shared emotional connection fosters empathy and engagement. You make your narrative unpredictable by introducing complexities and suspense that pique the audience's interest and emotional investment. A surprising plot turn, such as the sudden elimination of a primary character, can drastically alter the direction of the story. The audience typically forms strong connections with main characters from the outset, expecting them to remain central throughout. When this expectation is subverted by an unexpected death or departure, it creates a jarring surprise that keeps the audience engaged and invested in the unfolding drama. A compelling narrative should be clear and straightforward, with distinct characters that effectively portray the protagonist's personality to prevent repetition. It's crucial to distinguish between vital and superfluous elements, ensuring every aspect of the story contributes to the overall impact. While we may not all be professional comedians, we can still learn to incorporate humor in our verbal interactions, thereby captivating our audiences and breaking the monotony of speech. Infusing a presentation with humor is an effective way to captivate an audience and ensure your message lingers long after the talk concludes. By studying and internalizing the humor that resonates with you, you can infuse similar wits and humor into your conversations. By doing so, you'll be better equipped to organize and create a humorous presentation that engages your audience. Within each of us lies a latent sense of humor, often expressed through the things that bring laughter from others. You can still develop a sense of humor by learning fundamental techniques for crafting humorous expression. Once you've crafted an initial humorous piece, refine it by tweaking, inserting, or eliminating lines to optimize its comedic effect. Strategically insert these humorous elements throughout the content to create a well-timed and effective punchline. When attempting to craft a humorous remark, stumbling over the right phrasing can lead